There was a time in my career as I was walking down the hallway, I would see people duck into sideways so they would avoid coming in contact with me, or walk with their head down so they wouldn't make eye contact with me, or some would even turn the opposite way, anything to avoid making any contact with me. And it wasn't because I had the plague, but it was a time when our company was laying off 11,000 employees, and I was part of that process. And so I want to talk to you about how we send home 11,000 people and still maintain their dignity. Right now, we're sending people home, and everybody who is going home in companies is not because they're going to be teleworking. Some is because their career has ended at that company, their job has ended, it's been eliminated, or for various reasons. But most of it is unexpected. We didn't expect this, we didn't see it coming. Unlike other recessions or other times when companies were laying off, they started to see that there was perhaps profits were going down and they were starting to see losses. They start to see the industry change. But this was pretty unexpected for most people. And so most of your employees who may be hearing this message had no idea it was coming. They had no time to prepare. And so I want to prepare you to how you could deliver this message and maintain the dignity of your employees, and also ease some of the stress. So for the next couple of videos, I'm just going to give you a few tips on how you can work through this, how you can say goodbye with dignity. Understand that the person who you're talking to currently has a status of employee, and it's going to shift. And they could also be your potential customer. So when you're talking to them, make sure you understand that this could be a customer, this could be our consumer. And so what reflection do we want to leave on them as they walk out that door? As they walk out that door, what feeling do we want them to have about the time that they spent with our organization? Do we want to leave the last time that we've had a formal conversation be in such a way that it leaves such bitterness, that they could not speak well of their experience and their tenure with us, and they could not even speak well of this company to a potential employee or a potential customer? So those are some of the things I just want you to have in mind. So how do you get prepared? I'm going to give you a whole video on how to conduct a meeting, but some of the things that you want to think about when you're talking about employees leaving with their dignity is you have to be prepared. As a person who is delivering that message, or part of the process of delivering that message, you got to be prepared. And remember, this meeting is not about you, it's all about them. And understanding that that employee who's going to receive this message, who is probably very uh, stressed out because you even called them in for a meeting, not even understanding what you're about to talk about, you want to make sure that you can do whatever you possibly can to ease that stress by being prepared. Every document that you need to have it available in that meeting, not something that, oh, I'm going to email you later, or I'll explain to you that later. You want this meeting to be a very good closure. And so having documents in terms of if it's a final paycheck, have that available. Documents if they need to sign any kind of papers, have the questions already, anticipate the questions that they're going to ask, have that already done. And you want to practice what you want to be saying. This is not the time to ad lib. You want to know exactly what you want to say before you go into that meeting. Not only so you can be confident in what you're saying, but your nerves are probably going to kick in. I don't care how many years you've been doing this, your nerves are going to kick in. And so if you know exactly what you're saying, that's going to help this message come out a lot smoother. Also, you're also going to be able to shield yourself from particularly saying anything that could have caused perhaps later in the future some legal litigations, or anything that could have put your company or jeopardize your organization because of something you said off the cuff. So I want you to just kind of remember that in this meeting, when you're talking about it, you're letting someone go. It is a bad feeling for both of you, regardless of the circumstances around what has caused this. But you don't want to spend a lot of time talking about how you're sorry and apologizing. You feel so bad. This is so awful, because you're not going to be helping them. They feel bad. Remember, it's not about you. So you don't have to talk about how you're feeling. No one really cares at that particular moment how you feel. When you leave that meeting, go talk to your colleagues or someone about it. But at that particular point, the whole focus on them and making them feel in a very positive way when they walk out that door. So please, at all means, do not say I'm sorry. You can regret what's happening, but don't apologize for it. Also, be very clear on what's happening. Be very, very clear on, is this a furlough? Is this a termination? Is this what exactly is happening? And if this is a furlough and you have an idea when they're coming back, if this is a termination, this employment is over. And this is not, we're going to call you back. We might call you back. If this is the final day for that employee, they need to know that. They need to know that this conversation means that this relationship has been totally terminated. And so they don't have this false hope, and don't give them false hope. If this is not a furlough and you have a plan to bring them back, do not say, well, I hope, we can see you soon in the future. I hope that, we're going to see you again. If this is a termination, let them know. Be very, very, very clear. And the other thing is timing. One of the biggest complaints I always hear from employees who were terminated is that I cannot believe they let me work all day and then they fired me. They knew they were going to fire me anyway. Why didn't they tell me in the morning? I've always had a great practice of, by 10 o'clock in the morning, if we're going to terminate you, you are gone. By 10. After 10, we just don't want to do any more terminations. And that's just a personal policy that I've had. I just feel that by that time, pretty much we knew the night before or the day before, even a week before, we were going to terminate that employee. And so by 10 in the morning, you should have already had that person out. Why? You do not want them to be heavy into their work, heavy gone into meetings or gone to lunch or worked all day, or you want to be able to let that person come in and move out as quickly as possible. And so if you can do it at 9, if you can do it as soon as they come in, that's great, depending on how many employees you have to let go. But make sure for that day by 10 o'clock, my personal policy is let everybody be gone by that time. And the other thing I want to say is that if you're also terminating the day of the week, I kind of recommend having it done not on a Friday, during the week. So this way, if there's any questions, remember, you've just kind of upset someone's lifestyle. They just heard something that they were not expecting to hear. And so when they hear that message, they're in shock. So they're hearing you, but they're not hearing you. And they may have questions. And if you're not there the next day, because it's Saturday, you can't answer those questions. And so it will be great for you to do it during the week if you can. And so this way, if there are any questions, if they didn't hear something you said, or a number or an email or something that they're missing, they have someone to call back, and they don't have to hold on to that feeling or that question for the whole weekend and be in that state of confusion. So that's something I want to also put out there. And also my last tip would be helping them to avoid the walk of shame. And the walk of shame is going back to my desk and cleaning up everything out of my desk, and everybody asking me why, what's going on, what happened, why am I clearing out my desk? I don't want to have to explain that if I've been terminated. So avoid the walk of shame. And you can do it in various ways. You can just say, hey, I know today is your last day, Sandra. And after you've kind of let them know this is their last day, I know you probably have some items in your desk that you need. What personal is the key. What personal items do you need right now that we could get for you? And let someone go ahead and get those items for them, give it to them, and have them leave. Anything else on their desk that they need that is not personal, or that they need that is personal and it's going to be very awkward. I don't know. They had a refrigerator or a microwave at their desk, whatever it could have been. You make arrangements of, hey, Sandra, would it be a great idea? Would you like to come back this afternoon at 6 o'clock when everyone else is gone? They can clear their desk out at that time when no one else is in the office, so they don't have to deal with that. So those are my tips for you on how to say goodbye and allow your dignity of your employees to say. So if you are going through some kind of termination or layoff or whatever, stay tuned. We hope that the rest of the week we can give you tips to help you out. And if you have not already subscribed to our YouTube channel at She Works, we'd love to have you there. Remember, creating a workplace where women can thrive is your competitive advantage. Have a great day.